All right, one of my good customers, regular for well over a decade, probably close to 12 or 14 years now. He was actually one of my professors at school, my advanced financial management professor during my MBA. It was probably the toughest class I ever took. Finance 780, I believe, is what it was, and that was a ball buster class. But anyways, he shot me an email, and he's got a problem with his bush. So he emailed me these two pictures. I couldn't quite tell what it was. It's a yew bush, so I don't see a lot of problems with yew bushes, and I'm sure if you guys are in the industry, you don't see a lot of issues with yews as well. They're just a generally hardy plant. And based on timing, it's probably some winter desiccation, but I'm starting to kind of notice the winter desiccation doesn't come alone. It usually comes with some other underlying stressors, so some other insect issue or disease pressure or watering or soil drainage issues, like causing root rot type of stuff. And so I've actually discussed this with another guy who I think very highly of his opinions, and I've talked to my team about it, and now really I got to go out there and look at it. So I'll make a little video for you guys. This is the intro. Here's the bush. Here's the bush in real life, and this is what the customer sent the pictures of. I don't know if he knew what he was actually sending me pictures of, but when I look at that, that is just tons and tons of little insect bodies on there. At first it looked kind of like it was sooty mold, which I'm sure that's why it's turning white like that. It's probably mold, but where are the insects? I mean, honestly, it almost looks like woolly adelgids. It's not quite fuzzy enough, though. That's weird. They roasted this thing from like the stem out. It's got to be that scale. All right, so a good friend of mine named Woody. This issue with yew bushes has been happening randomly across this area for the last, I don't know, 7 years, about 7 years. That might be an exact number, but it's somewhere in that range. And nobody, the conservation department, none of us could figure out what the heck has been going on. But I mean, you can look at this leaf tissue and you can see the sooty mold on it. Okay, so obviously something is feeding on this and it's secreting, and that's turning into sooty mold, and that's what we're seeing. So what is it that's feeding on this thing? Because Fraser's scale typically is on the stem. I'm not seeing that. There's got to be something feeding on these needles. So what do we got? Let's see if we can get a good picture of this in the camera. And I wiped a bunch of it off, but where's my microscope when I need it? Let's check the root system and see how wet it is. Just for the record, I did turn the camera off and I crawled underneath there and stuck my hand underneath and felt the bush, and it was very wet under there. But it didn't have that rotten, moldy mildew smell, so I don't think it was a root rot issue. There's the culprits right there. Those little black deals. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of scale. Where's my entomologist at? What insect is that causing this? So when I look into this bush, these little white cottony thing, that looks like mealy bugs to me. These bushes have mealy bugs. So yeah, it's winter desiccation, but it's because they have mealy bugs eating the stems, I think.